Every morning, you wake up to the sound of dinosaurs. They are perched on tree branches outside your window. They are strutting across your lawn. They are soaring through the sky above your head. And if you have ever fed one breadcrumbs at the park, you have interacted with a living, breathing descendant of the most fearsome predators. Because here is the truth that most people do not realize. Dinosaurs did not go extinct. They are still here. They are everywhere. And the story of how they survived the greatest mass extinction event in history is far stranger than you ever imagined. 66 million years ago, a rock from space changed everything. The asteroid that slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula was 6 miles wide. It traveled at 45,000 miles per hour. The impact released energy equivalent to 10 billion Hiroshima bombs. It vaporized rock, created tsunamis over 300 feet tall, and threw so much debris into the atmosphere that the sky turned dark for years. Within hours, the world was on fire. Within weeks, photosynthesis had stopped. Within months, the food chain had collapsed. 75% of all species on Earth vanished. The age of the dinosaurs, which had lasted over 160 million years, appeared to be over. But it was not. Because while the giant dinosaurs died, one group survived. They were small. They were feathered, and they could fly. These were the avian dinosaurs, what we now call birds. And their survival was not luck. It was the result of millions of years of evolution that had prepared them for exactly this kind of catastrophe. Let us rewind for a moment. Most people picture dinosaurs as giant, scaly reptiles. Tyrannosaurus rex, Triceratops, Brachiosaurus. But this image is incomplete, and in many cases, completely wrong. Because by the time the asteroid hit, many dinosaurs had already evolved feathers. Not for flight at first, but for insulation and display. Fossils from China have revealed dinosaurs covered in protofeathers, filaments that looked more like fur than the feathers we see on modern birds. One group of these feathered dinosaurs, the theropods, began to get smaller. Their arms became longer. Their bones became hollow. They developed wishbones and asymmetrical feathers. Over millions of years, they were becoming birds. By the late Cretaceous period, just before the asteroid struck, true birds already existed. They shared the skies with pterosaurs, which were not dinosaurs, and they nested alongside their massive non-avian cousins. When the asteroid hit, size became a death sentence. Large animals needed large amounts of food. With the sun blocked and plants dying, the herbivores starved first. Then the carnivores that fed on them followed. But small animals, animals that could survive on seeds, insects, and carrion, had a chance. Birds, with their compact bodies and adaptable diets, were perfectly positioned to endure. But here is where it gets truly fascinating. Birds are not just related to dinosaurs. They are dinosaurs. This is not a metaphor or a simplification. In the scientific classification system, birds belong to the clade Dinosauria. They are specifically part of the theropod group, which includes Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus rex. When paleontologists talk about non-avian dinosaurs going extinct, they are making a distinction within the dinosaur family tree. But the family tree itself is still alive. Think about that for a moment. Every chicken, every pigeon, every eagle is a direct descendant of the creatures that dominated the Mesozoic era. The blueprint is still there. Bird legs still have scales, just like their ancestors. Their feet still have 3 forward-facing toes and 1 backward-facing toe, the same arrangement seen in theropod fossils. Even their method of breathing, using air sacs that flow through hollow bones, is inherited directly from dinosaurs. And then there is the behavior. Modern birds build nests just as many dinosaurs did. Fossil evidence shows that some dinosaurs sat on their eggs to incubate them, exactly like birds today. They engaged in elaborate mating displays. Some even had feathers arranged in patterns designed to attract mates, similar to peacocks. The connection is not just anatomical. It is behavioral, physiological, and evolutionary. Now, here is the wow moment that changes everything. Scientists have actually managed to reverse evolve chickens to express dinosaur traits. In a process called atavism, researchers have triggered genetic pathways that are still present in bird DNA but normally switched off. They have grown chickens with teeth, something birds lost millions of years ago. They have altered embryos to develop snouts instead of beaks. They have even modified leg development to create dinosaur-like limbs. This is not science fiction. This is evidence that the genetic code for being a dinosaur is still there, lying dormant inside every bird. Evolution did not erase the past. It simply built on top of it. The dinosaur is not gone. It has just been remodeled. And the diversity of modern birds is staggering. There are over 10,000 species of birds alive today, far more than the estimated 700 to 1,000 species of non-avian dinosaurs that existed at any given time during the Mesozoic era. Birds have colonized every continent, including Antarctica. They range in size from the bee hummingbird, which weighs less than a penny, to the ostrich, which can weigh over 300 pounds and run 43 miles per hour. Some birds, like the cassowary, even look the part. With their powerful legs, sharp claws, and aggressive behavior, cassowaries are often described as the closest thing we have to living raptors. They can kill with a single kick. Their feet bear a striking resemblance to the sickle-shaped claws of a velociraptor. If you ever needed proof that dinosaurs are still dangerous, spend 5 minutes reading about cassowaries. But even the humble pigeon, the bird we see every day and largely ignore, is a marvel of dinosaur engineering. Pigeons can see ultraviolet light. They can detect magnetic fields and use them for navigation. They can recognize themselves in mirrors, a sign of self-awareness found in only a handful of species. These are not simple creatures. They are highly evolved survivors of an ancient lineage. So why do we not think of birds as dinosaurs? Part of it is cultural. The word dinosaur conjures images of monsters, of creatures fundamentally different from anything alive today. We have been taught to see the asteroid impact as an ending, a clean break between the age of reptiles and the age of mammals. But science tells a different story. The age of dinosaurs never ended. It just transformed. Another reason is that birds do not fit our expectation of what a dinosaur should be. We expect size, power, and ferocity. But evolution does not care about our expectations. It cares about survival. And in the aftermath of the asteroid, being small, being adaptable, and being able to fly were the traits that mattered. The meek inherited the earth, and they did it with wings. There is also a tendency to see evolution as a ladder with humans at the top. But evolution is not a ladder. It is a branching tree. Birds did not evolve from dinosaurs and then become something separate. They are a branch of the dinosaur tree that kept growing while the other branches were cut down. To say birds are not dinosaurs is like saying you are not a mammal, because other mammals went extinct. And the fossil record continues to reshape our understanding. In the past few decades, discoveries in China, Mongolia, and South America have revealed feathered dinosaurs that blur the line between what we call a dinosaur and what we call a bird. Microraptor had 4 wings. Anchiornis had feathers on its legs. Uteranus, a relative of Tyrannosaurus rex, was covered in a fluffy coat of filaments. The more we dig, the more we realize that the transition from dinosaur to bird was not a sudden leap. It was a gradual shift that happened over millions of years. Some scientists even argue that if we could go back in time and see a living velociraptor, we would not recognize it as the creature from the movies. It would be smaller, about the size of a turkey. It would be covered in feathers. It might even have looked more like a bird of prey than a reptile. The Hollywood version, while thrilling, is a reconstruction based on outdated science. The real thing was stranger and, in many ways, more interesting. So what does all this mean for us? It means that the next time you see a bird, you are looking at a living dinosaur. You are watching a lineage that has survived for over 230 million years. Through continental drift, climate change, volcanic eruptions, and asteroid impacts, you are witnessing evolution in action, a creature perfectly adapted to its environment, carrying the legacy of an ancient world in its bones. It also means that extinction is not always the end. It is often a transition. The non-avian dinosaurs are gone, yes. But their legacy lives on in every robin that sings at dawn, every hawk that soars on thermals, every penguin that dives through Antarctic seas. Life finds a way, not by resisting change, but by adapting to it. And perhaps most importantly, it reminds us that the world is far stranger and more wonderful than we often realize. We live in a time when we can sequence DNA, study fossils in microscopic detail, and peer back hundreds of millions of years to understand where we came from. We share this planet with creatures that walked alongside Tyrannosaurus rex. That should fill us with awe. So the next time someone tells you that dinosaurs are extinct, you can smile and correct them. Dinosaurs are not extinct. They are thriving. They are singing outside your window. They are nesting in your trees. They are soaring above your head. And they are a reminder that life on Earth is tougher, stranger, and more resilient than we ever imagined. If this video changed the way you see the world, hit that subscribe button and join us as we explore more of the strange, the surprising, and the downright odd. And let us know in the comments, what is the most dinosaur-like bird you have ever seen? We will see you in the next one.